prowess is powerful.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
This video and my channel are sponsored by Whatnot. Whatnot is a social marketplace where you can buy and sell collectibles and hang out and chat with fellow collectors. If you sign up using the link in the description of the video, not only will you be supporting my channel, but you'll also get $15 off your first purchase. And be sure to tune in on my first ever Whatnot stream on May 22nd. I'll be showcasing and selling some magic cards, tokens, and unique collectibles. Thank you again to Whatnot for sponsoring my channel. Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars! I'm Amy the Amazonian and today I'm playing Narset Enlightened Exile. This is a Jeskai deck that's all about prowess, because Narset gives all your creatures, including herself, prowess. And if that wasn't enough, maybe you cast a spell in your upkeep and maybe you cast one in your main phase, you can also cast them when you attack, because when Narset attacks in, you get to recast a non-creature, non-land card from a graveyard. Yes, you can cast from your opponent's graveyard, as long as that spell has a mana value less than Narset's power. And since Narset starts at 3, that means that if you haven't cast anything else, you can cast something that costs 2, 1, or 0. Narset also happens to work very, very well with tokens. Spells that make tokens, especially because Narset is able to make your board really, really strong, giving everything prowess, especially with the spells that make the creatures that get the prowess, that make the creatures that get the prowess, can get huge. There's two main approaches to this deck. There is the feather sort of approach where you protect Narset and you try to build her up in a Voltron kind of style so she's always able to stay alive and attack. And then there's what we did, which is going wide. This deck is running a whole lot of creatures that when you cast spells, make tokens. We've got things like Young Pyromancer, Third Pass Iconoclast, Monastery Mentor, Kykar. These are all really, really powerful cards with Narset. But we also have things that make pseudo prowess, like Balmor, Battlemage Captain. Now, in order to trigger all of these casting non-creature spells things, what we needed to do is we needed to get non-creature spells. And I got non-creature spells that make tokens, like Dragon Fodder, Forbidden Friendship, Krenko's Command. You're seeing a theme here. There's a lot of things that cost 2 and make 2. And also, if that wasn't enough, we have some other low-cost pieces of removal. Think Swords to Plowshares, Lightning Bolts, Strangle, Abrade. Being able to recast these or just cast them the first time from your hand is really nice. There are a few counterspells in this deck, mostly to protect Narset when she comes down, but I'm not too crazy on them because I would rather play this deck pretty aggressively. The hardest thing in this deck is keeping Narset alive because I didn't build too many protective spells into the deck, and trust me, she needs to be killed on sight. You're going to notice that the curve of this deck feels pretty low, but we still have a good number of lands in this deck. That's because consistency is going to be difficult. We want to get our Narset out on turn 3, on turn 4, but that's going to be hard to do. The other pieces of tech I have up here are just another way to give Narset haste with Urabrask the Hidden. Giving your tokens haste is also really nice. We have some more token-making cards that also buff up your board, help you go wide, survive certain attacks, lore hold command, and the, let's say a cheeky little inclusion here, City on Fire, because you can convoke it out with your tokens, and it makes your damage go up. And Chandra Hope's Beacon, because she doubles your instants and sorceries. Now, I do have some non-instant and sorcery, non-creature spells in this deck that she doesn't affect. That's just fine, because we're going wide, we're going wild, and we're getting NARSTY. So let's get into the queue and make some tokens. Jetmir, Nexus of Rebels. It's like having a Crater Hoof in the command zone. We can go wide as they go wide because we've got our Third Path Iconoclast, we've got a little bit of lightning, real lightning, and I'm going to keep this. The hand's a little bit slow because I can only get in an untapped land on turn 3, but we will have our Lightning Bolt on turn 2, and we are going first. Get out of here, Storm-Kiln Artist. I don't need this. Are you worth bolting? Probably not. We'll see if they play something else that's worth bolting. Something that's not a 1/1 that can't block. Like a 2/1? No? Nothing? Okay, never mind. We're just gonna chill here. Ooh, Vantage. I'm going to get this Vantage out since it would come in tapped any other turn. Now we've got a Lightning Bolt, and this Lightning Bolt makes a friend. Because whenever we cast a non-creature spell, we get a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. Satyr's Cunning needs cards in graveyard to be recast from the graveyard. I'll take another one. We could make a token. We could trade. Not worth it. It's gonna burn your face. Make a friend. Both of us are kind of like these commit to gigantic boards and attack in with big buffs. Both our decks following that similar strategy. Let's see, I've got Big Score, Urabrask, Rawls Reinforcements, or we could play the Narset this turn. Narset, getting her out here. I'm going to do it, but I feel like she's going to die. That's just how she works. Let's see. She could even get Tithe. No. I'll swing in with these two. Are we Gucci? But do we live? 4 mana, you can get out. Jetmir. Surprising that they haven't played anything other than 1 Satyr. Alright, I guess it's time for some tokens. Which tokens do I want, though? I think I want to invade Segovia. The Invasion of Segovia, the triggers for Prowess all come out. And Narset grows. We also get some Krakens. We're going to use those to start Kraken. Cannot block. They could have the Wandering Emperor here. If they do, that's cool. It happens. If I take the Satyr's Cunning out of their graveyard, they can never recast it. And then also I get a Satyr. Okay, I'll do it. What? Hey, look, it's the Wandering Emperor! Bye, Narset! We still get our Satyr's Cunning. Which means we get another one of these soldier tokens, and we get a funky little guy! Sadly, this doesn't flip, so we can't unleash the rest of our hand. That's fine. We've got some good mana. We've got a very, very good chance of flipping this next turn. Hi, Wandering Emperor. You're cool. I like your hair. I liked it more when nobody could see your face, though, because it was covered in a mask and it was implied that you were heavily scarred. Yeah, I read the War to Spark books. They sure were books. Inquisitor Captain gets them 2 3/2/1 drops and lets you choose one of them to put into play. They got a Topiary Stomper. It cannot attack or block until they have 7 lands, but it gets them a basic. It's free ramp! They also have a 3/3, which can block, and a 1/1 that can't. This Wanderer could turn into a token. Looks like they're just gonna buff up the Satyr. Going for the swing. Looking good. Oh, hello, Castle Embreth. Aren't you nice? Must resist. Can't resist. Must attack things. Alright, so we only need 4 of those. They can block 1. Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore the Wandering Emperor. I didn't usually attack in with this many, but I will anyway. This comes into play. We're gonna use Rawls Reinforcements. Some Prowess triggers happen. It's great. It's normal. We're gonna untap. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can have a big score at our leisure. Now, if they have a board wipe here, cool. If they have a way to go super duper wide and hit us with Jetmir, also cool. We're also super duper wide. They got the 7 lands, though, so the Topiary Stomper's able to attack, able to block, and start swinging and singing. The Rite of Harmony. This will draw them cards when anything, creature, enters the battlefield, so it looks like they're going to start with Samurai token. This draws them a card. An Esper Sentinel. Fine. I'm not going to be able to pay the 1 because I won't actually have mana. But I want it to seem like I have something more impressive than a big score in my hand. Hi. Oh, it's Rocco! What 1-drop do you think they'll get? Llanowar Elf. No. Yeah, Llanowar Elf. I hope it's Llanowar Elf. Raven Inspector. What? Ain't no dang elf. Alright, yeah, you drew a lot of cards. Do you want to attack me? More. More attacks! More! I'm gonna discard this Urabrask. I can't pay the 1. But I can Prowess. Get some other cards in my hand. Ooh, Treasure. I will block the Topiary Stomper, because that's one less thing for me to worry about. Am I ready for an Alpha Strike? Oh, I sure am. Let's start with an Expressive Iteration. We're going to want to get our spell count up. We want to pay mana here, and I will pay the 1. Actually, you know what? It doesn't matter. If we want to maximize our Killitude, decline. Enjoy your cards. Your hand is full. Veto. City on Fire, you say? I'll consider having a City on Fire. I'll consider this. Casting this essentially just replaces itself mana-wise, since we get another token, and we can convoke these. Don't care. Throw it away. Put it in the trash. A Shark Typhoon. I see. Okay, so Treasure. Couple more. Tap for Convoke. Tap for Convoke. 1, 2, 3, 4. Prowess. We're attacking with everything. Do I want to cast Rite of Harmony? No. Do I want to cast Rites? Inspective Iteration. Lightning Bolt. I'm going for Lightning Bolt. Reason. City on Fire. What does it do? Triples my damage. Prowess. Prowesses. City on Fire. Makes that into 9 damage. We've got more attackers than you've got blockers. One of these has Trample. That's a game. They can do the math. One of these can't block this guy. Each of these is swinging for 15 damage. Good game. I don't know why you sleepy hedron to me. Your deck does like the exact same thing. Only instead of casting spells, you just make creatures and then play your commander. But sure, yeah, GG. The Gitrog monster, one of my personal favorite commanders. We have a kind of slow hand here, but I'm going to hope that we can scry to some lands, like that one, so we can play at our signets, our Coldsteel Hearts, we can hold up our counter spells, and we can ramp up into things like Chandra, Hope's Beacon. Hope's Beacon. But we're being duressed. What do you hit? The Chandra? The Signet? They went for the Signet. Okay, that's probably smart. Gitrog monster, not coming out this early in the game, though, so I think that we're going to name red. Get me and my double red sources here for Chandra. Try to get out Narset in a turn or two. We won't be able to get her out next turn if we play the Fabled Passage, since this will crack. Get us something tapped. Still fine. Chandra Hope's Beacon is so great with this Narset, though. I really like these two together. The doubling of spells, no matter where you cast them from, really adds up and makes for a powerful play. So they know about this counterspell, so they might try to bait it out with something kind of lower powered. If that is the case, we have a Make Disappear. And if they don't do anything of interest this turn, I'm going to just cycle, the Shark Typhoon, get myself a little 1/1 token, and draw a card. Okay, and 1/1 token it is. 1. I made 1 shark. You love 1 shark. Well, I love 1 shark. It's a little guy. He's just a little guy. Nothing wrong with being a little guy. I technically can play Narset here. I think she's going to die. And you know what? I accept that as truth. Heartless Act. Go for the throat. Power word kill. What's it gonna be? Infernal Grasp. Very nice. She's dead, and I accept this. Is that a dark ritual? For your frog? Get out of here. You're in green. You can just ramp by playing lands. They disagree wholeheartedly. Dark Ritual, a card that shouldn't be in this format. Gets this Gitrog out nice and early. And guess what time it is? It's time for frogging. They'll be able to play an extra land this turn, but they did not find an extra land this turn. If we get out Chandra, she's not quite big enough to kill the Gitrog monster, but she could be used to stay alive and maybe double some damage on a future turn. Might be nice. I'm gonna play the Narset, and I'm gonna chill. They sacrificed a land. Now they're down to 3, but they can play 2. Rumming up Excavator lets them replay these from the graveyard. Now, depending on if they need any untapped mana, they could go for this, or they'll go for these self-sacrificing lands. Broker's Hideout notably can only get forests from their deck, because there's no plains or islands in their deck. I'm planning on using Chandra next turn to add enough mana to get the bolt, to double the spells, to recast from the graveyard, and have a really good time. I felt that because they're going to have to commit so much into the frog this turn, we're safe. We're going to get to attack, and I'm fine with doing a little bit of spellery. Spellery. We're going to get some prowess triggers. Prowess, prowess. Prowess, prowess, prowess. Prowess, prowess. 1 red. Sure, 1 blue. Lightning! Real lightning. We do the thing. We do the thing again. Narset continues to grow. And as she grows, she gets more of these triggers. Do I want to cast that Duress from their graveyard? I think I just want to kill the Excavator. The damage just feels nicer. This way I'm not losing any life. The prowess triggers continue to grow. And their frog costs 7. So down to 14 life. We've got a Chandra on the battlefield. Life is good. One moment. A Bolus's Citadel, risky to start paying all that life. They're paying another 2 for a Coldsteel Heart. If they can dig deep enough, they might be able to find some removal, some answers. They found a Heartless Act. There goes Narset. Oh, but there's so many choices of things to do, like just -6ing and hitting them in the face. Is that what I want to do? It's so boring. So boring. Just go for -7. Just hit them. They die. That's game. GG Gitrog monster. Spell you later. It's Rada, Heart of Keld. I've only got 2 mana here, but it's in all of my colors. I've got removal. I've got a thing that buffs up my board. I've got Skrelv's Hive, making tokens for me. And their Rada is conveniently a 3/3, so it dies to Volcanic Spite or a Braid. That's good for me. Start with Seacarm Coast. It gives me blue, it gets me white. We're not doing anything else here. I'm not going to start with the Hive. This makes tokens that cannot block. They're 1/1 mites. They have Toxic, which is probably not going to be relevant here. But if I can get 3 poison, these do get lifelink, which adds up really quickly to be very, very strong. We can make more tokens off Wedding Announcement, off Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I'm going to go with Fable of the Mirror Breaker because this also lets me filter my hand, get spells in the graveyard. That's good for Narset since I can cast things in the graveyard. And it gets me a treasure off this goblin. Hello, Rada, with a +1/+1 counter off Rhythm of the Wild. No longer does she die by the powers of an Abrade, so I feel like we could drop something here. I'm going to drop the Make Disappear, maybe? It's like, counter spells are cool and all, but are they that cool? They're not that cool. I'll drop the Abrade. Keep my spite. And I'm going to swing in here with my two little dudes. Just in case they, I don't know, want to block. I can't counter their creatures, but I can still counter other spells. Alright, nice. They blocked. I'm going to drop, or I guess put back into my deck this Make Disappear. Great. Burning down the house. We get one poison. And Leonin Lightscribe. I'm going to be making my mights mightier. Spirit of the Altar card. The 3/5 that gets them a snow land. More mites. This only triggers on instants and sorceries, not on just non-creature spells. But we still have some cool stuff that we could be casting here. I feel like I'm not too pressured. I'm going to get out Narset. And then cast Brawl's Reinforcements. What this is going to do is it's going to trigger Prowess on all our creatures and then also trigger the Leonin Lightscribe. So we've got 3s coming in here. I'm fine to sacrifice one of these just to get a poison and 3 damage in, since we get another one every single turn. More damage. Same amount of poison. And now if we swing in with Narset next turn, we can recast any of these from the graveyard. Ronus's Monument! When they cast creatures, they get a big boy. And their boy is in fact being embiggened. Nice. Being able to play extra lands each turn is good with Radha's basic effect of letting you play lands off the top. Ooh. Decisions. My decision is to go wide. I'm going to make some devils, because they do have haste. And you're going to see it's triggers on triggers on triggers on triggers on triggers and triggers and triggers and triggers. We swing in. Narset's a little chunky, a little funky, a little big. And we're going to grab our Abrade. We're going to destroy that Ronus's Monument. And we get triggers on triggers and triggers and triggers and triggers and triggers and triggers and triggers. And we win. Because it's lethal damage. You have to kill Narset immediately. She's terrifying. Hidden Pants is playing Atali, Primal Conqueror. I've got some good fast mana here, but they've got a good fast dinosaur. Atali, Primal Conqueror, is a 7/7 with trample that can turn into a Blightsteel Colossus. More importantly, when it enters the battlefield, doesn't matter if it's reanimated, blinked, or cast, you end up getting, and this is a real doozy, the top spell of each player's deck. It actually goes deep enough until it finds a spell, and then you can cast them for free, which on their end can be giant scary creatures, and on my end is whatever I happen to be playing. Speaking of which, I'm going to be paying 3 life. Gets me the Signet. They're ramping, I'm ramping at the cost of blood, but that way I'll be able to get Narset out a little bit quicker so I can start doing more things with this deck. Sundown Pass. We've got 4 mana here. I'm going to put out the Leonin Lightscribe and hold my Make Disappear. Escape to the Wilds. That's a very powerful spell, so I am going to counter it. Glacial Fortress comes in tapped. So I'm going to get out my Narset, give them something to remove if they have removal. Unfortunately, it means I won't be using Narset's abilities, though it would be really fun to recast some of these spells, especially. The ones in my opponent's graveyard look better than the ones in my graveyard right now. Lotus Cobra, landfall, get a mana. They'll probably be able to cast Atali next turn. And a Vastwood Surge, they'll definitely be able to cast him next turn. That's 2 more lands. I got a Sokens on here, which means I can take out the 2 guys on the board using Chandra. And I think that that's a pretty fair thing to do. This triggers the Prowess and the fake pseudo everybody gets Prowess thing. No, it doesn't, right, because that's instants and sorceries only. We are going to -1, hitting the Elvish Mystic and the Lotus Cobra. Since Narset now has 4 powers, I can cast things that cost 3, 2, or 1. So we've got Grow from the Ashes there into Counterspell. We're going to Grow from the Ashes. And this is going to get copied, I believe, off of Chandra, because it is the first instant or sorcery I've cast this turn. These 2 are going to trigger now. They're going to buff like crazy. We're going to grab 2 lands. I'm going to grab red and blue. They come in untapped, which is nice. But the big thing is we're dealing a ton of damage. We still have the Chandra out next turn. They are able to play a Tali, but what will they hit? It could be nothing. It could be Ulamog. It could be all sorts of power levels. It looks like a Braid on this side. A Braid is enough to kill this or this. And on their end, Explore. It's just more ramp. We got really lucky there, and we live to see another day. All right, so Chandra, we can deal damage. We can remove their blocker. We've got this Ugin here. I'm going to go for this Ugin. This triggers the Prowess. We remove a Tali. We swing in, we recast. It gets double cast because of Chandra. And then we should have lethal damage. That's game. We're playing up against Ghalta and Mavren. This seems like a very good hand. We've got nice fast mana in our colors. We also have this third path Iconoclast ready to rumble. Now I could play this Castle Hardened Vale first, just knowing that it comes in tapped. But I think it's going to be better for me to try to get out the Iconoclast on turn 2 so I can spit out more tokens as we cast our various non-creature spells. Avacyn's Pilgrim, that's a good one. Inspiring. Very inspiring. This thing is great, by the way. It's another Llanowar Elf type card. It's not an elf, it's a human, but it's so nice in this kind of deck. They could have some white or fight to get rid of this third path Iconoclast before it starts spitting out tokens. Elesh Norn! This is the Elesh Norn where you can sacrifice a bunch of creatures to flip her over. She's very, very good. I don't have to worry so much about them playing their commander this next turn, but I do think that it would be nice to ramp. So I am going to play this out as blue and get the Celestis. I am technically holding up mana for Wash Away, but not really. The downside of this Elesh Norn when we are playing a tokens deck is that we're going wide, so we have a lot of different damage sources. Whenever we deal damage with one of those sources, we have to pay 1 or we lose 2 life. So it's a bit of a risk. It's a lot of tax if we want to swing into this. Harmonize. They draw 3 cards. You have a very full hand there. This Ghalta and Mavren, by the way, I didn't even explain what it does. It's a big dinosaur. It's got Ghalta's stats, but it has a very different mana cost. When it is on the battlefield, if you attack, and it doesn't matter if it is attacking or not, you have a choice between making a dinosaur equal to the size of your biggest attacker, or, and this is a fun one, you can make a bunch of vampires that are not attacking and just sitting there and hanging out on the battlefield. All right, what am I vibing with here? Anointed Procession to make more tokens? Or we just cast these and we make like a bajillion tokens. Or we get Narset out. Let's play Narset. Hi, I'm just a couple guys. Nothing weird here. Definitely not me trying to cast your Harmonize from your graveyard. What? Who would do that? That's ridiculous. They swordsed her. That's fine. That's fair. This taps for 1 white, and that's all they needed. Arcane Signet, they're ramping. They probably will have enough mana for Ghalta and Mavren, 7 total next turn. They currently have 7. This Avacyn's Pilgrim tapping for some. Nice, a Welcoming Vampire. And Elesh Norn swings in again. So I'm going to want to make sure I'm holding up this Wash Away for Ghalta and Mavren. Oh, hey, City on Fire. You're a fun one. Let's start making some tokens, though. I wish to have a Forbidden Friendship. And a Krenko's Command. And a City on Fire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dum, bum, bum, bum. Looking good. We're holding up our wash away. The City on Fire is tripling my damage. So these are feeling 3 apiece. Next turn, we swing in. Maybe we toss down some spells first. We go absolutely wild. Good game. We're up against Pia Nalaar, Consul of Revival, creator of tokens and speedy little beasts. Speaking of speed, we've got the boots, but I don't feel like I have enough lands here, so I'm going to mulligan. I don't have any super early tokens. I've got this wedding announcement. That's fine with me. Pia Nalaar, when you cast a spell or play a land from exile, you get a 1/1 Thopter. What do the Thopters get? Haste. Also, it's just kind of a cool card. You know what's not cool, though? These gosh darn turn 1 Esper Sentinels against my smelly deck. Hi, Esper Sentinel. Don't worry, I'm gonna blast you next turn. No. Play Pia Nalaar. Nope. Rahilda the Crime Wolf. Well, I'm a woo to you. She's very scary. And we should probably, like, kill her or something. You know, I don't know. Probably. We could also, like, block her, get rid of the Sentinel so we have more choices for future turns. I have the Abrade, though, so I'm going to start hitting this. I will pay the 1, yes. I'm going to drop the Storm-Kiln Artist. Got a Temple of Triumph. Nice. Haha, now I can block your Sentinels with my Elemental. Not that impressive. I think it's impressive. Doing great. Forsaken Crossroads. A Skrelv that'll help protect things. And Pia Nalaar. Now we could Abrade Skrelv or the Esper Sentinel here. Or I could, like, just play Narset, hope for the best. I could also let them draw a card and go for a double spell. I like doing a double spell this turn because I'd like to get the Celestis out. You get to draw. I'm not paying the 1. And we're going to destroy the Esper Sentinel. Get out of my face. I don't want to think about you ever again. Esper Sentinel. It's a good card, and you should put it into your white decks. It's in this deck, too. It gets stronger as you buff it with Narset, but just in general, this is one of the best 1-drops you can include. I would say that, like, as far as 1-drop creatures to include in decks, Esper Sentinel and Ragavan, those are the tasty ones. Definitely do it. Ooh, nice Melt Through. Melt Through just gets rid of my Young Pyromancer. I'll take 2 from Pia Nalaar. They're holding up mana and the tap ability on Skrelv for the pseudo protection. It's not actually protection. It's hexproof from a color and can't be blocked by a color. Also gives toxic. Kind of neat. They'll be able to bring back the Esper Sentinel or Rahilda using the Restoration of Iganjo. Something I'm a little not happy with, but I accept it as truth. I'm going to play my Narset since I feel like she's safe enough against a Boros deck. I won't be blocking with her if I can avoid it. Coldsteel Heart. I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I'm going to throw that to the bottom. A lot better on turn 2, even though it will get a Prowess trigger if I cast it. Since we're not going to be blocking, I'll go in. They discard. And they return. Do you go for the Sentinel or the Rahilda? They could also get for the land if they're just, like, trying to ramp. I think Rahilda's the coolest card. They agree. Also gets them things to spell cast from exile, since when she hits, she exiles the cards and then can cast it. They can also make her mostly unblockable, depending on what colors I have on the battlefield. And it's nighttime! I would love to draw a card. I'll throw it in the graveyard. It's gone. Balmor, my beloved! Here comes Balmor. We're going to announce our wedding. Who's getting married? Balmor and Narset, obviously. They love each other. They love each other! Oh, lightning bolt before the prowess finishes triggering. I'm going to swing in with everything, and ooh, you know that lightning bolt you just showed me? Seems like a really, really nice thing. But we also have an abrade. We have this. They're able to protect. What do I want to do? I think I'll go for lightning! Real lightning! And I can hit their face if I want to be aggressive. I can hit Skrelv. I'm gonna hit Skrelv. Skrelv cannot protect itself, can protect anything else here. Do you have a Wandering Emperor? A Settled Wreckage? No, the damage goes through. And we draw a card because we attacked with 2 or more creatures. We're also going to gain a life. Grab a thing. What do I want to throw into the graveyard? I'm going to throw down the Mercurial Spelldancer. It is unblockable damage. It's really cool, but I'm going to try to secure a lethal and protect that lethal off these 2 spells next turn. Lelia swinging in, exiles the top card of their deck, lets them play it. Good for Pia. It is a Lion Sash that eats up graveyards. They exile from my deck the Esper Sentinel. God damn it, Esper Sentinel. You get out of here. You get out of here. They've got 3 blockers. Now they've got 4. Make it 5 off the Pia Nalaar. I'm eyeing to see what we could grab, what we could play. I will pay the 1. Swing in. You can grab pretty much anything here. Since we're not actively getting lethal here, I think it's best for me to hit Sentinel, Rahilda, or Lelia. I'm going to go for Lelia, even though she's not a blocker. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a lightning bolt. This will get them another little guy. These are all indestructible, though. We have a Monastery Mentor now. Nice. Monastery Mentor has Prowess herself and also makes Prowess triggers off of Narset feel even better. Makes tokens with Prowess. Monastery Mentor, I would say, is like the apex of token creators to work with this Narset. Alright, they swing in. They get a little guy. Rahilda gets to steal, and what do they steal? A Strangle! Strangle is big enough to take out the spirit. If they combine it with something else, they'll also be able to kill Narset, since they definitely have Burn in their deck. They're strangling my token, which gets them a Thopter. Shatterskull Smashing gives me the potential to take out Pia and Rahilda this turn. I'm eyeing how much mana I have. So that would be 5, which costs 7 total. I have exactly enough to do that. Or thinking greed here. We could make some tokens. Monastery Mentor. Skrelv's Hive. Get that Prowess trigger. Beep, 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 beep. I like how I could actually cast this just to get the Prowess trigger. That's so fun. I really do like that. I don't really need it here, though. I don't think it's necessary. You could Strangle or a Braid. Rather similar to me here. You want to exile it? Oh, nice! I actually missed that since they exile it, we don't get the Prowess. It's never cast. Nice. Narset's being kept alive. We lose some little guys. Oh no! Do I need more tokens for blocking, or do I hold this as removal? Nah, we're fine. Sweet! A kill spell! Love that. Looking at what's in the graveyard, they drop 2 lands. They're reconfiguring onto this Rahilda, trying to make her bigger as they swing in. So I will block with the Monastery Mentor. That's going to get them to exile at least 1 card first. And now we're going to kill Rahilda. And also some triggers are going to happen. Like just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. They die, but they do get a clue. Alliance Ash is also still alive, able to, you know, do some graveyard stuff. We get a little guy, we lose 1 life. Would I like to draw a card? Sure! Oh, it's lightning! Real lightning! And it's going straight into the graveyard. Shattered Skull Smashing. I might as well go for the big cast on it, right? If we cast this for X equals 6, excuse me, if we cast this for X equals 6, we get to double the damage. And kill more stuff. Does it leave me open to Mana Tithe? Yes. Do I care? Not really. I just like to deal damage. Some Prowess triggers happen. We Prowess, we Prowess, we Prowess, 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 Prowess. We also Prowess, and we Prowess. Oh. Which means we win the game. GG, Pia Nalaar. Iconoclast Widow. I hope you like spiders, because this deck has a lot of them. We're going to keep this hand. We have lands that will come in untapped so long as we lead with this mountain. And we've got a spider to face off against. Iconoclast Widow is a spider, has reach, as you'd expect, but if they're delirious, if there's 4 or more card types in their graveyard, when she enters the battlefield, they make 3 spiders, and then they can drain you for the number of spiders. Kind of terrifying. Now, I could hold open these counter spells, I could play Hard Evidence here. I will just hold my counter spell and this Consider. That way I'm able to set up my draw, maybe put something into the graveyard, and try to protect ourselves in case they happen to play something that would be a problem on the battlefield. Consider Wayfinder is ramp. It also fills up their graveyard, but I don't think it's worth countering. They look at the top 4 cards. Nice land. Land goes into hand. And they're actually getting, ooh, nice, creatures and sorceries now in the graveyard. So that is 2 of the 4 for Delirium. Young Pyromancer sounds great for next turn. Love that. I'll get the Clifftop Retreat out, making sure the blue is held up because I'm going to cast Hard Evidence. Young Peasy, getting me a little elemental. We've got a crab as well, and we have a clue. We got tokens aplenty on this battlefield. Hello, Satyr Wayfinder. Or do you feel threatened by my crab? He does pinch, after all. Certainly does pinch. Everything here is being observed. I think if they have some way to kill a creature here, they'll look into getting rid of this Young Pyromancer. Ooh, Heraldic Banner! Naming green since the tokens Ishkana makes are green. Glacial Fortress sadly would come in tapped, so it's not great for me here. Means I can't just get Narset out. I could foretell the Saw It coming since I cannot cast it here. There's a good chance they'll be able to play Ishkana next turn though, so I'm actually just going to sit here. If they cast Ishkana, we have a Make Disappear. We have a way to stop this from hitting the battlefield, even though there's no Delirium right now. I don't think they're going to cast this until they're delirious. If that's the case, if they pass through the turn, great. We can make a clue. We could cycle Shark Typhoon. Both of these are great. Poor Young Pyromancer sitting here, hoping not to die. Five mana. Don't you dare activate that Castle Lock, Twain. You have 6 cards in hand. If you take 7 to draw, I'm a little worried. I feel like they just need to get a little bit more stuff into the graveyard. Alright, we're going to get another token out here. Hard casting Shark Typhoon. Is it fun? Yes. Is it the right move right now? Probably not. We don't have enough mana, so we need to build up our battlefield. We can play Narset this turn. She's not going to live, though. We want to be able to protect her, I think, a little bit better. So we'll just keep casting spells. Expressive Iteration. Gets me a token. And lets me look at 3 cards. One's going to go to hand. One's going to go to exile. Ooh, and one can be cast this turn. So I think I'm going to put Strangle into hand. Celestis back into the library because I don't have land here. And Volcanic Spite off to the side. I'm going to Spite the Wayfinder. That's going to let me put one of these back into my deck to draw a card. Maybe they'll sacrifice it in response. Oh, no! They're exiling my Young Pyromancer, but they did it after I've already gotten so many little guys. I think I'm gonna drop this Saw It Coming. I'm not a big counterspell gamer. I like to hit face. You all know I like to hit face. Also, that's an instant in their graveyard, which means that they're now at 3 out of 4 for that Delirium. A land in the graveyard would kick this off. An artifact, an enchantment. Just one more card type. A Planeswalker, even? Here comes Ishkana anyway. A 4/5 with reach. Protects them quite well here. And is not really worth me using 2 burn spells on, in my opinion. I would rather play Narset and just kind of risk it for the biscuits. But I'm thinking about, like, I could get out the Hive. Get out the Hive. So I think I am going to use the double spells here. We burn some more. We could hold up the Make Disappear if they plan on casting it again. Or we just get more tokens. Or maybe I could draw a card to try and find a land. Spacebar. Yeah, the crab can go into. I'm gonna hold the Make Disappear. And if there's nothing that's worth countering, we'll get a clue. Liliana. Speaking of spells worth countering, that's one! Make Disappear, make her go away! They now have Delirium. Ishkana's ready to rumble. I think that because they're gonna play Ishkana, we can play the Narset, swing in. Boop, 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 boop. Sure, you're gonna have spiders, but I'm gonna have whatever the heck these are. I'm gonna have sharks and crabs and elementals. Oh my. Do they not have 7 mana? No, they do. But rather than playing their commander, they're killing Narset. They know how must-kill she is. And they also, I think, know that I'm very behind on lands. Because I am. I'm very behind on lands. Liliana, the last hope. This Liliana can shrink my creatures, and since most of them have 1 toughness, that kills them. She can also mill and bring back creatures. This Liliana, by the way, she is not that powerful ability-wise, but what makes her so strong is that she's easy to hit the ultimate of. If you can protect her long enough, she pretty much overruns the board, and she can be a huge problem to deal with for most decks. Fabled Passage. Let's go ahead and take advantage of having some mana here. We're going to grab a Plains. Get out Esper Sentinel. We want the Chandra. Maybe recasting something from the graveyard, like a couple more crabs. Or we could go for Draw and Hive. I'm going to go for Draw and Hive. This does let Liliana live another turn, but it also gives me the most fun possible setup. And I care about fun. I care so much. I just want to party hard with my Narset, and to do that, I need man- Oh no, that's a worm. So remember how I said something about fun? There's no fun. There is only worm.
I'm calling the shots here.
Rude. My crab. My crab, it's gone! A tragedy. The likes of which we've never seen before. At least I have a mighty might! Oh, hey, Balmor. You're pretty cool. We're going to get rid of this worm. Do you have a way to make it indestructible? Okay. The worm is dead! Long live the worm! We're making some elementals. And Liliana, the mentor to Chandra, is about to get bopped by some little babies. The little baby bop.
Don't worry, I brought company.
Balmor in hand, ready to buff when we cast instants or sorceries, or recast them from the graveyard, or cast them off of Chandra. Just have to make sure we have the mana up. Here comes Ishkana, Graph Widow, with an army of spiders. They're 2/2s because of the heraldic banner. And if we kill Ishkana here, they'll just play it again and get some more spiders. Yes, hello, you have 3 mana. What are you doing with it? Are you killing my Chandra? They might have like a Maelstrom Pulse. Itsy bitsy spider gets a little buff. With a Bloom command! Oh, destroying my hive and my might. And we're getting Thought Sneezed! Do you hit Balmor? Or Lower Hold Command? I have the perfect mana for Lower Hold Command, so it's... I feel like a solid maybe. I don't have a great way to make tokens in my graveyard to recast off of Chandra. Field of Ruin. We got Narset. That's about it. If they're out of kill spells, that would be just great. I really like that. I'm gonna make some elementals. They're not gonna do anything. They die. Hi, I'm Narset. How are you? Please don't kill me again. I just want to make horrible things happen. They're starting with a Grizzly Salvage. They're going to be able to grab a creature or land from these cards, and the rest go into their graveyard. So they could grab Command Tower, Forest, or Elder Gargaroth. I think the answer is easy here. You take that Gargaroth. What a card! You still have tons of mana left. They've got some good abilities here. They could use Argoth to fill up their graveyard. They could draw a card off Castle Lockman, or they could just play this Gargaroth. Takanuma. Ooh, no, they're bringing something back from the graveyard. A creature or Planeswalker. Is it gonna be Worm? I feel like it's gonna be Worm. They know that there's, like, token things happening here. And that's a really strong strategy against tokens. Alright, here's the Elder Gargaroth. Currently a 7/6. When it attacks, they either draw a card, they get a beast, or they gain some life. Everybody's swinging at Chandra. I'll take out one of these spiders. But Chandra gets taken out too. Go empty-handed. Swing in with Narset. We've got some choices here. You go for card advantage. We could go for removal. I think we just take the Fateful Absence. I'm just like double checking to see if they have anything that would kill better. I can't kick the Terror Sunder because I don't have those colors. Yeah, it's not the best card advantage-wise. That would probably be Expressive Iteration. So instead, I'm just going to go for Fateful Absence. Hit the Gargaroth. Get some triggers. We get some damage in here. We hit for 5. I'm also just, like, eyeing. I've got my Field of Ruin ready. These are currently not threats. Cultivate. They ramp. If they swing in, by the way, I will not be blocking any 2/2 spiders, because Worm would then kill my Balmor. Yes, if we do sacrifice our Field of Ruin, we'll be technically thinning our deck by 1 entire basic land. Not a major change when you've got 76 left, but still cool to have. Ooh, Liliana of the Veil. Are you going to make me sacrifice my poor little birdie? You're not going to make me discard. I don't have any cards in hand, but you should totally plus. There we go. Balmor's off the battlefield. We're keeping Narset alive.
Off you go.
We take 4. And we're going to go ahead and blast the Argoth. They also have a Castle Locthwain here, but because their life total is fairly low, I don't think that that's their priority. This can only be activated at sorcery speed. You don't have to worry about them doing much with it. And they don't have enough mana to activate Ishkana. Do you want blue or red? Let's go for blue, sure. Looking at what we can recast off our Narset. I think we gotta go for the iteration. It does the most. Unless we have a way for lethal. Alright, Anointed Procession would give me double tokens. I'm thinking like we could double Hard Evidence. That gives me a chance of just dying here. But it's really cute and it gets me lots of clues. I think we go for the iteration though. So I'm going to swing in with Narset. We could also, like, Thoughtseize that out of our hand. I just don't think it's the right move here. We're going to iterate expressively. We cast it. Triggers our Prowess. Currently a 4/5. We've got Saheeli, land, and that. Put one into my hand. Sure, we're going to put the Pain land into the library and exile this. Gives them the least information for the attack itself. We're going to empty out our hand here. Notably, we have to do Saheeli first. So we get a token. Token does die to Worm, but it's still a token to have. Just as Saheeli is a target worth attacking. Alright, I'm looking at how much damage they could do here. They've got 6, 7, 8. They wouldn't then have enough to do the spider stuff. They do have, I think, a potential route to lethal here. It's just a matter of can they hit it. We're gonna sip our coffee, too. That's good. Hand empty, head empty. You want a worm? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, wait. Okay, so here's the route to lethal I see for them. They start with the worm. They have to make sure they leave up the Phyrexian Tower. They attack in, so that's 6, plus the 2 there, 8. And then sacrificing the worm in order to activate Ishkana and make me lose 2. Okay, they would rather actually just obliterate everything I know and love. I think that that's a good way to make it so you don't die next turn. But you did have lethal. That's okay. It's hard to see it. Ooh, going down to 5 against a deck you know has burn? Frisky, risky. Do I have a way to win this? I think there's a couple top decks that would get me there. You are so close. You are so close. We have to use this as a board wipe, though. We attack in. It's only 3. It's only 3. They destroyed my pump spell land, so I definitely can't do that. We live a turn. We burn down the house. There's no more Liliana. There's no more Ishkana. There's no more nothing.
This isn't how things were supposed to go.
Ooh, and here comes the Graf Widow. Returning to the battlefield, not quite enough mana to activate, but all they have to do is activate this, and they will win the game. I got a dud on top of my deck. All I can do is cast Narset. Good game, Ishkana! The spiders are superior. That was very heartless of you. Killing my sweet, sweet Narset. Just because she likes to cast spells from the graveyard repeatedly. She's kind of a little monster. Love her. Love her for this. Do it. Just activate. Yeah! We die! Good game, Wolfsdale. Sorry, Wolfdale. I added an S in there. Zada! Hedron Grinder. Just like us, they're doing stuff with spells and copying spells. Zada is kind of cool because she actually copies spells that target her and then echoes them across all of your creatures, which means that they're going to have lots of aggressive creatures, yeah, like this one, and probably some tokens too, as well as big scary buffs. This Ragavan, on turn 1 though, what a rough thing to go up against. What did they steal? A pair of goblins? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. No! That's so many goblins! Our goblins have been stolen. I'm going to use Forbidden Friendship to get myself some blockers for this little monkey. Ooh. Hello. A Mox Amber lets them tap for red, since they do have this monkey out. That's Embercleave. This is Embercleave, isn't it? Oh no. Teamer Battle Rage. Sometimes you just have, like, this fear. And it's a very appropriate fear that somebody might hit you with an Embercleave. I have tokens. And one of them is attacking! By the way, I would say that Kraken tokens from Invasion of Segovia are one of the strongest things in this deck, because they do have Trample. You might not think, oh, trampling tokens, haha, that's so bad. Yeah, they're good when they have Prowess and you're casting like a bajillion spells every single turn. Just trust me on that. We've got an island, and we can hold open our counter spells. slash our big score, or we could just play Narset here. I think that if I attack the Invasion of Segovia, they will want to block at least one of these, probably two, trading the goblins into this. So I'm just going to chill and get my Narset out. This is mono red. They're currently on 3 mana. They can get up to 5 next turn, depending on how blocks happen. And there's only some things that would be able to kill Narset. It would have to be like a lava coil. Volcanic Spite, and another piece of burn coming my way. A shock. A play with fire. Maybe some awe to go with the shock. Hi, Magda. I'll block Magda with this token. Now is it Emberclip? No, it's Lightning Bolt. Okay. A Saheeli, you say. I can protect. I can attack. I wish that I could smack with Narset, though. If only. If only. We could also go for Tome of the Infinite and be absolute little brats. I hate this card. It shouldn't exist. Let's play it. Counter spells are for chumps. Show me what I got. Watch it be Force Spike. Dark Ritual. Thanks. I love it. Here comes Zada. They have 1 mana available if they'd like to, I don't know, cause some buffins to happen. It's an academic dispute, which means that each of their creatures blocks this turn if able, and they can give it reach. They also learn. Question mark? Are you just trying to discard your hand and find new cards? Alright, they dropped the Vindictive Flamestoker. And Forbidden Friendship. These are, by the way, spells that we can recast, because Narset, for some reason, lets you cast from your opponent's graveyard. Still haven't figured out that one yet. At all. I take 2. Looking great, buddies. Looking great. Guess I could start with Saheeli. You can make some black mana for no particular reason. Use it for big score. Make a couple tokens. That's always nice. Must resist free spells. Need free spells. Don't do it, Amy! But, like, maybe do it a little. A Dark Ritual! We're gonna use that. Have a big score. We're gonna drop the Make Disappear. Get some more little guys out here. See what we find off Tome of the Infinite. Blue, please. We got a Force Spike. Okay. I could turn these into Tome of the Infinite, but then they would die. And now I sit here, waiting. Ah, yes. And they concede the game, because I'm making tokens. And soon these tokens will get stronger, and faster, and more powerful than ever before! GG. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. As always, if you'd like to watch me record this live, you should come over to twitch.tv/Amazonian, where I'm playing Magic almost every single day. I'm also putting votes up when we're choosing our new commanders, so you should come in, and if you're trying to suggest a commander, you should put it in the comments for the video, because that's usually where I draw from if I don't already have commanders in mind. So this deck, it's really cool, it's really fun, and I would love to build the other version of it, which is a little bit more feathery, though I think the Go Wide fits me a little bit more. Go Wide tokens, like, that's the kind of spice that I need in my life. Thank you again so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.